bigger stool.
You can stand up if you want.
Yes. If I stand up, I'll be shorter.
We'll start on the right side with Aaron.
Dean, how good did it feel to be out there? I know you've been anticipating this for a while, but just to get on the ice and see what the ice is like, to get somewhat familiar with the surroundings, does this give you a big aid going into tomorrow, knowing what to expect?
Well, it gives us a, an excitement level, right? It gets us jacked up and it's a start. But I mean, you guys have been asking a lot over the last while and maybe even all year. We're looking forward to it. Sure, yeah. We've been, we can't look too far ahead and all that kind of stuff, but it's here, right? It's here, so it's exciting. Ask the group to take it in, to just enjoy the experience, especially today. We'll talk tomorrow about the puck drop and 2 points and all that kind of stuff. But today's about getting prepared, no different than it is the day before a regular season game and in an arena. Like, you're preparing, but you can still have some fun and enjoy it. It's very special out there. Hopefully the guys enjoy it with their families and friends.
Left side, second row.
Dean, the day is here, but it's such a meaningful game too in terms of the standings and what this means. And it's maybe the most meaningful in terms of standings outdoor game based on timing and you guys being tied. So what does that do to add to what already would have been a special event?
Well, I'm torn with that question just because, shouldn't every game be super important? Like, I get that, I get where we're both at in the standings, but I also think that we're coaching in the NHL, where the players are playing in the NHL. You're trying to win every hockey game. You're competing. It's your livelihood, and it's you want to compete your butt off and try to get 2 points every night. So sure, are the standings tight and all that, and what have you? But we should be able to play the game the same way every night, regardless of where we sit.
Can you play this game the same way?
Yeah, I think we stress to our group. Doesn't matter who, when, or where we play. We play the same way, the exact same way. So if we're playing on the road, if we're playing outside, if we're playing in our fantastic arena, then we play the same way. And hopefully all coaches talk and stress consistency, and that's all we're looking for. If we can be close and consistent every night of how the Columbus Blue Jackets play, we'll give ourselves a chance to win.
Left side standing up in the back.
Coming back from the break, you get 3 pretty key players back from injury, obviously, in your lineup. Wondering how much has that helped, just kind of with the effectiveness of your forecheck, your aggression? I mean, it seems like you guys are really kind of forcing the issue maybe even more than you had been before the break. And did the break itself help, just with some rest?
Yeah, I argue that our groups played that way regardless of who's in our lineup. And is it nice to get pros back that have played in the National Hockey League for a long time and experience and skill and all of those wonderful things? Sure. But the guys that were playing prior to before they got in, they're playing the same way. So, again, going back to the consistency thing, it doesn't matter who you're playing with or where you perceive your ranking on the line chart or the defensive chart or the 2 goaltenders. We play the same way.
Back left.
At an event like this, a lot of times there's a lot of neat, special, cool moments. What was it like after practice today to be out there with the families and see the guys out there skating with their kids?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole experience is about, right? We're very fortunate to be in the role that we're in, regardless if you're a coach or a trainer or a player, and especially a player. That you shouldn't take for granted of what we do for a living, and to share that with your family and with friends or with people that haven't had that experience, to be inside and to be on that ice and to skate around and look at this environment. It's amazing, and I don't think it's lost on anybody. It's certainly not lost on me.
Front left.
When we talked yesterday, you didn't have an update on Cole Sillinger's. What were we able to find out? And if he can't play, just how tough
He's definitely not playing tomorrow. You know, we'll see, you know, obviously his upper body, not obviously his upper body. But I'll say this, it wasn't as bad as we were thinking it was, but that's only one day out as well. But he is definitely not in our lineup tomorrow.
Front right?
Dean, you've been through this a couple times before. Just what were your impressions of the venue, of the setting, the atmosphere, just as a guy who's been through a couple of these before?
It's amazing, right? To look at this building and what it's been through, the history, and you know, it's just such an iconic building. It's so cool to look at, and the sight lines are amazing. Like, we played in Minnesota in a baseball stadium, obviously at Target Field, and the sight lines are a little bit different. Like, if you look at this, it looks like our arena. It's just a little further away, right? It looks like Nationwide, but and then you continue looking up and see all of the you know, the great dimensions of the shoe, and it gives you chills when you're looking at it. And that's what we wanted the guys to experience, to look up there and to see that and go, wow, that's pretty cool that we're actually skating on this turf, basically.
Do a few more for coach, front left.
Dean, you mentioned about not taking these moments for granted, and of course there's a player that's important that isn't here, and that's Johnny Gaudreau, but the league is making sure that he's going to be acknowledged in a meaningful way. It's something that Steve mentioned from the beginning was important to them. Why is that important to you?
Well, it's obvious, obviously, but Johnny has been, you know, like we've had some success this year, what have you, points-wise, but our group has been very close from day one, and Johnny is still teaching us so many ways. We talk about him a lot. You know, Meredith will be walking us out tomorrow, and Johnny's mom was with us on the mom's trip, and his dad's been on the ice. There's just so many ways that Johnny has inspired us, and the biggest thing, and I told this a few times, when I had only one opportunity to meet him, and I flew there after I was hired here, and I just wanted to get a feel for him and him feel for me. And what struck me is that not one time did he say, you know, I want to play with this guy, or our power play should be this setup or whatever. All he said is, I want to win. I want to win, and I want this to be a close team. And that's what our guys are. I didn't get the opportunity to coach him or to see him in the dressing room or on the ice or on the bench, but everyone speaks of him as just this love of the game of hockey, and our guys have embraced that. If you watched our post-game award, it's a donkey hat. Johnny apparently called everybody donkeys. So he's constantly with us. He's in our dressing room. His jersey's there every night, and not just game nights. He's with us all the time. We talk about him all the time. It's like today. I asked Boone Jenner, I said, "Hey, Johnny would like to be here." He said, "Hell yeah, he would." And so he's always with us.
Back right.
Dean, I know Putio's out on the ice practice. Is he someone who could draw in tomorrow? And what do you like about his game? What element does he add to the lineup?
Yeah, he'll play tomorrow. He's penalty killer for us. He's played extremely well. Obviously, he went down to Cleveland, but whenever he's been here, he's just been a good, sound hockey player. He's got a skill set about him. I think that he'll be able to put numbers up as he gets more confident in his abilities. But he's a pro at a young age. He just does a lot of those little things right. Coaches love players like that. He'll be a good fit for us here tomorrow.
There are no more questions. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you.
Ladies.